So today we're talking about developing young football players, and our studio guest today is Mason Galloway from Bridgwater Taunton College. Football, sliced and diced with Sedgemoor FM and Somerset FA. Welcome to Sliced and Diced, where we have open and honest conversations about football. I'm Neil Fellowes from Sedgemoor FM.
And I'm Paul Coltman, marketing consultant for Somerset FA.
So before we get into talking about today's topic, just let me give you a very quick invitation. If you're a fan of a local club, or a player, or a club official, or in any way involved in local football, then you want to subscribe to this channel and hit the bell to get notifications of all of our latest uploads as and when they drop. On this channel, you'll also get some local interest stories and the occasional music-related video too. So Mason, we wanted to talk to you because clearly there's something going on at Bridgwater and Taunton College. You're producing a lot of really good, young, talented footballers. I know recently you've had players moving up to Aberdeen. Yeah. You've also got players who are at Bristol City. You've got players filtering through into Bridgwater United as well. So tell us what's going on.
Yeah, there's obviously a lot going on. We've been doing it for a number of years now, where for us as a college it's really integral to what we do to work with partners. You know, we want to be an anchor in the community that we can help bring football clubs together with the education to provide a pathway for players. So those players, like you mentioned, obviously education is a key part of what they're going to do. You know, they may play football for 10 years, 20 years, hopefully. It might be 2 weeks. So what we want to make sure is they have a solid education background behind them. So we work with those clubs to make sure the players get the best educationally, but also get a great football experience whilst in the college. So for years now we've been trying to grow that. A student can come to college to be a student athlete, as we call it, that they get access to full-time training like an athlete would, but at the same time get access to their studies. I think what we're seeing now is the reward of that benefit, and that long-term game we've been waiting for.
Nice, yeah, I like the sound of that. What do you think sort of different, or what's changed, do you think, over the last few years then at the college?
I don't think there's been a lot that has changed. I think what, as I said a minute ago, we're looking at now is the benefit of what we've been doing for the last few years is starting to come to fruition. When you put long-term plans in place, it takes time and it takes a lot of effort to keep them going, and you've got to stick with it. It's so easy sometimes, even with business, people say you make a plan, you start something, but actually you have to see it through. I think what's changed now is because we can see there is some tangible evidence. We've had a lot of success recently. We've had a lot over the last couple of years that people don't see sometimes. But now it's all coming together. You get one, that domino effect happens, the next one happens, the reputation builds, and actually we're getting to a really good place now.
The model's similar to what has been used in America for decades. And obviously we all know the success of the sort of educational athlete model in America and how that goes on to develop. But obviously you say the education is important, and I'm assuming it's your job to make sure that the education and sport, that there's a balance.
Yeah.
How hard is that? Because I'm surmising that all these students are footballers, but they're not all on the same other course.
100%. And, you know, it's not easy for someone like myself. It's not easy for anyone involved. You know, it takes a lot of dedication from a lot of people and a lot of goodwill. But I think the reason it works is it comes from our principalship down. Their mantra, the principal Andy, he's very much big on, well actually if you want to study agriculture and that's your ambition to be long term, but you want to access your sport, you should have the opportunity to do that. And putting all that in place takes time. It's changing hearts and minds, it's convincing people, it's even working with that student to go, actually how can we help balance your time? Yeah. But they're life skills that they can take forward and that they take into whatever they do next, and you know, a lot goes back to them. The students have to put a lot in if they want it. But, you know, as you know, we're doing it across loads of different study programmes. But we're talking about football, we do the same for rugby, netball, basketball, trampolining. You know, we have over 200 student athletes that we're looking after at the moment, alongside thousands of others providing weekly physical activity opportunities too.
And how challenging are the students? Because I'm guessing that they are athletes first and students second in their mind, where necessarily for the college it might be the other way around.
Yeah, you know, you hit the nail on the head. For the students, they love that bit, they want to be the athlete, that's their bit, and for us it's helping them know, yes, we're going to do that, but think about what's next. Think about what's going to come after your 10, 20 years in football. What do you want to do? How can we help that? And they can be challenging because all they want to do is play football, they want to go outside, but it's really about just making sure they're aware of what they can do with that. And you do need a balance.
Yes.
You know, you can't just play football every day. You know, you can't just sit out there and kick a ball around. You get tired. Well, use your downtime in the best way possible. Complete your studies, do some work experience, help yourself grow.
What, obviously, doing what I do, a footballer is a very small percentage of the industry, although that's the job that everyone that works in football wants to have, because that's the glamour role. What work goes into these students in helping them understand that they might not necessarily be a footballer, but they could be a coach or a physio or an analysis or something like that?
Yeah, so we make sure a lot of that is part of their programme, so they get opportunities to see all of that. They get to experience strength conditioning, nutrition, analysis. We're one of the only colleges in the whole of the southwest of England that's TAS accredited. So TAS is a talented athlete support scheme. It's backed by Sport England, and it's represented through the Olympic pathway, that anyone on one of those strands gets support. And I say we're one of only probably 2 in the whole of the southwest that has that accreditation. And that really is a rubber stamp to what we provide to those students, making sure that we provide the best education for a student, their flexibility to complete their studies around being that high attaining athlete that they get S&C, they get nutrition, and within that the value is showing them this is what an elite athlete will get, but actually here's an industry you might be interested in. And it's always having that 2-pronged approach to go, we're doing this to help make you better personally, but actually, is it something you like in this that you can take forward into what you want to do later in life? This picking up on those skills for those students, reminding them, whilst we're here to make you better, we're showing you lots of different opportunities that you can take forward.
I like that, because it's not just about being better at the sport, it's actually being better at life, isn't it? So it's the skills that go with that.
But a more rounded individual,
100%.
which ultimately will make him a better athlete, potentially.
And it will do, and that's one of the biggest things, speaking to a lot of our staff, is when we speak to lecturers in different areas who don't quite see the benefit, it's actually making them more well-rounded. We're trying to make better people, and sport is a huge vehicle for doing that, and we've built a lot of traction over the years doing it.
What's the pathway for young people coming in at 16, and at what age do they leave you, and what happens in between?
So really our football pathway starts even younger. So we start really at the age of 13, 14.
Okay.
We have a very big
backing. So you're identifying
We identify people younger than that, we work with them then to help provide them the best opportunity.
Is that through the district schools programme?
Yeah, so Mo Hopkins, who leads our men's football programme currently, runs the Taunton district schools.
Let me just pick that one up for you. I was waiting for when you were going to drop his name. I said the local legend.
I'll put his name out as long as possible. But yeah, so Mo runs the Taunton district schools, which they run from 13 to 16. I'm technically chair for the Bridgwater schools. We have a team of coaches that help support and run that. Some students are involved in that. And we really help identify those students at a young age, at 13, 14, support their pathways, providing facilities, a bit of coach education, obviously prepping to come in at 16. They then get normally 2 years on a level 3 pathway. Some might come on a level 2 and need a whole different pathway. Some might go apprenticeship. We then have the opportunity to keep them into HE at the college, where they can stay for a further 2 to 3 years. So we do sell to a lot of students, and I say sell because it sometimes is a bit of a business pitch to some, that you can come here and study this for 5 years. You could come in at 16 and be with the college for 5 years, doing 2-3 years in the football team at further education within Team BTC. Then we've got a higher education pathway at University Centre of Somerset that we're building and growing in the same line. So for some sports like women's football, they can do that to 21. For men's football, it's under 19 at the moment, but if we can grow that pathway further and more students staying, we've had a university football team pre-COVID, so actually that pathway can continue. And we have got students now who are 20, who can't necessarily represent the college on a Wednesday afternoon, but we've linked them up with Taunton Town, Bridgwater United, Middlesbrough Football Club Street, whoever we can, to make sure they still get their sport outside of college, whilst they might be studying whilst they're a bit older. So it's really about identifying those opportunities for people.
Those clubs then get the benefit for that, as well as the student getting the experience.
Yeah, definitely. And there's so many. We were doing it the other day, running through of our students that are now playing at Western League football or above, across the whole of the Southwest, really. It's phenomenal to see.
You said just then, Mo.
Yeah.
Okay, we've dropped his name again. he's never going to be able to leave the building at this point. Who else is integral in making this work?
So there's a whole team of us. So it starts really at senior management, as mentioned, the principalship, all the way down through our assistant principal, Jason Gunningham, who's been at the college for gone on 20 years. And he's also been a big backer of sport and has done a lot over the years himself. Obviously, I really manage a lot of staff on the ground. So Jamie Laird, who manages our fixture programme and makes sure our admin behind the scene and supports the coaches. We've got Mo, as you mentioned. We've then got a team of coaches that are lecturers at the college So they get the best of both. They can coach the students on a Wednesday. We have Mo coming in. We have S&C coaches, sports analysis.
Yeah.
We've got apprentices. So one of our apprentices, Katie Sharkey, she's just finished her apprenticeship 2 days ago, and she started a new role, which we haven't yet announced.
Yeah.
But then she runs our women's pathway and works with Bridgwater United on the girls' front.
Yeah.
So there is, 10, 12, 13 people that are part of that whole pathway, bringing it together. And it goes from the principal being involved in knowing what's happening day to day, all the way to those people on the ground actioning it and making sure it works.
You said Wednesday fixtures. Now, I appreciate these are probably behind closed doors because of the environment that you're in, but what are these fixtures? Who are you playing against? What does it go towards, for those that don't know?
Yeah, so the college system is on a Wednesday afternoon, you play against all the other colleges in that area. So for our men's one football team, they play what's called the Association of Colleges Premier League, which is one of the top divisions in college football. So we'll play as far up as Hartbury, SGS and Bristol, Exeter, a couple of the Welsh teams in Galloway, Bridgend, down to Truro. For some of our more local teams of our second and third team male footballers, they'll play against Richard Hewish, Weston, Yeovil, Strode, a bit more of a local base. So on a Wednesday you get a chance to represent the college, wear the college colours, playing with their friends, their teammates, playing in the league, all the results are out there, there's trophies at the end of the year. So a really great environment that they can play age-appropriate football in an educational setting that's safe, but also at the same time is trying to help them grow. So
And the girls' sides?
And the girls, similar, you play in the Premier League, but theirs goes a bit widespread. Obviously, it's not as many girls' teams as boys' teams, unfortunately, and that is growing, getting better. They can go as far across as Essex, all the way up to, we've had games in Stoke-on-Trent and further down. Last year they were national champions, so that came with a bit more travelling to Nottingham and further afield, which is great, and it just expands the programme we're doing.
And the boys, if I'm right, their team is the team that represents Bridgwater United in the FA Youth Trophy or the FA Youth Cup.
Yeah, so as part of how we expand that opportunity to make sure they don't just get a Wednesday, on a Saturday afternoon they play as a South West Counties Youth League team, registered through Bridgwater United as part of our pathway, because obviously in an FA competition it needs to be for a football club. With that comes they play in the FA Youth Cup and represent Bridgwater United, represent the college and also all the other partners that we partner with, but you have to go through one partner to make that work. So they played on Fairfax Park, and this year they just had an unbelievable success and run. Unfortunately, it ended by playing against a football league team in Oxford, and it actually, in reality, maybe could have won it. But that's football. They had a great, amazing run and learnt loads from it. And those are the experiences we hope they walk away and they go, well, wow, what a great time at college.
Some of your players have also gone on to play for England as well at college level.
Yes, so we had Alex Parsons last year, who picked up as one of our first ones in a couple of years that's done it. And then this year we have
two this year.
We've got Isaac Finch and Jack Cooper. And then we have Freddie Hayden, who's gone on to represent England schools. So it's not through the college pathway, but because he's still in education, it's a different system. But at the same time, it's a very great accolade to have. That we've got those three representing England this year.
Not bad for your CV at 15, 16, is it?
100%. And that's, they're real success stories, not just for us, but for those students. Some of them, when you dig into their backgrounds and what they've gone through, to then get to that level and the opportunity they get, it's amazing.
It's really fascinating having you in.
No, 100%.
Congratulations on all the stuff you're doing. You've done a great job. Thanks for your time.
No problem.
If you've enjoyed this episode, then please subscribe to the channel and remember to hit the bell to get notified about all of our latest uploads. Also, if you would like to get some extras from within the studio, like memes that we don't usually share anywhere else, a regular newsletter and access to our best of archive, then please follow the Patreon link in the description.